You are watching a World Cup match and nothing looks dangerous yet. A fullback stands over a throw-in. His team is 1 goal up. The winger is marked. The midfielder is hiding behind a shirt. He is not looking for a pass. He is looking for seconds. Then the referee raises a hand. 5-4. Now the defender has 2 bad choices. Throw the ball into traffic or lose the throw completely. No shot, no tackle. Just a clock that has stopped being friendly. That is rule changes. They arrive as administration. A line in a document, a phrase like match flow. Very thrilling. Put it on a poster. But on the pitch, a rule is not neutral. It chooses a victim, not always on purpose. Not always unfairly, but it moves power from one habit to another. At a World Cup, where a knockout can turn on one restart, that matters more than the rule list suggests. So do not ask only what changed. Ask who can still breathe after the change. First victim, the team protecting a lead. For years, football had a public secret. Goalkeepers were not supposed to hold the ball forever. The old 6-second rule existed. Everyone could see it. Almost nobody expected it to bite. Now the keeper has 8 seconds with the ball in his hands. The referee shows the last 5 with a raised arm. If the goalkeeper goes too long, the punishment is not an indirect free kick. It is a corner. That is a different animal. A corner is not a goal, but it is bodies, blocking, panic. A goalkeeper who wanted to drain the match now has to defend chaos. The same idea has spread to throw-ins and goal kicks. If the restart is delayed, the referee can start a visible 5-second countdown. Miss it on a throw-in, and the throw goes to the other team. Miss it on a goal kick, and the opponent gets a corner. Before, wasting time was often a bargain. Annoy the crowd, take the whistle, maybe get a warning, maybe not. Now the bargain has a price printed on it, and the rule is already changing behavior. After the group stage, FIFA's refereeing chief Pierluigi Collina said the new limits had been broken only a handful of times. That sounds small. It is also the point. A rule does not need to explode every match to change behavior. Sometimes it just has to stand there with a raised hand. That brings us to substitutions. Football's slowest little play. A winger is coming off in the 87th minute. He is on the far side, of course he is. He jogs, applauds, touches the badge, and 30 seconds vanish into culture. Now he has 10 seconds to leave after the board goes up, normally at the nearest boundary line. If he fails, he still leaves, but his replacement cannot enter until the first stoppage after 1 minute of running time has passed following the restart. That is not just a time-wasting rule, that is a numbers rule. For a minute, the team may have to play short, 10 men, maybe in a phase it wanted to defend. The outgoing player does not save time anymore, he may create a hole. The injury rule works the same way. If a player receives assessment or treatment on the pitch, or if his injury causes play to stop, he usually has to leave the field and stay off for 1 minute once play restarts. There are exceptions, including serious injuries. Head injuries are not content. Now the ordinary little stoppage has a cost. Fake pain becomes more expensive. Real minor pain becomes more complicated. A midfielder with cramp may rise, but he may rise outside the pitch. So the first group of rules points one way. Less dead time, less managing the lead through delay. More risk for the side trying to make the match smaller. Then the second case does the opposite. Hydration breaks. Every match at this World Cup has them. 3 minutes in each half, around the 22nd minute. No weather trigger. All matches. Same structure. 104 games across Canada, Mexico, and the United States. The official reason is welfare and equal conditions. That is real. The tournament is played in June and July, across climates, roofs, altitude, humidity, and heat. A player who cannot cool down is surviving, not thinking tactically. But a 3-minute break is never only water, it is a timeout with bottles. A coach gets the team. The assistant brings the tablet, a fullback gets told to stop jumping too early. A midfield line moves 5 yards. 3 minutes can repair one problem. That can help the team that is losing, not always. There is no magical law that says the chasing team becomes clever after drinking. But structurally, the break gives the struggling side a free interruption. If you are under pressure, it is air. If you are flying, it is a cut in the film. This is why some people dislike the rhythm. They hear hydration and see something closer to 4 quarters. But that is the tension. A rule can protect players and still change the football. The third case lives in the review room. VAR was already the sport's pause button. A goal goes in. The stadium erupts. Then everyone looks at a referee touching his ear, and joy becomes a draft version of joy. The new powers are narrow. They are not VAR can check everything now. It cannot. But the edges have moved. A red card that comes from a clearly incorrect second yellow can now be reviewed. Mistaken identity can be corrected when the wrong player is shown a card. And competitions may allow VAR to correct a clearly wrongly awarded corner, but only if it can be done immediately and without delaying the restart. If the corner is taken quickly, the moment is gone. A corner is football's most casual argument. The defender points one way, the attacker points the other, the referee chooses, the ball comes in. Maybe nothing happens. Maybe a country spends 20 years saying the corner should never have existed. Now, in a narrow window, the room can say, no, wrong restart. That helps teams punished by a tiny factual error. It hurts teams that profit from set-piece chaos. A second yellow is sharper. It is not just a card. It is a red card wearing a yellow shirt. If it is clearly wrong, VAR can now help. But VAR does not get to invent a second yellow the referee never gave. It corrects the red card consequence of a clear mistake. Not every bad foul, a very specific cliff. That is the VAR trade. More accuracy at the margins, less finality in the moment. The crowd wants certainty. The game gives them procedure. Funny how principles improve in your team's shirt. The fourth case is quieter. DOGSO. Denying an obvious goal-scoring opportunity. Horrible acronym, useful idea. Imagine a goalkeeper rushes out, fouls an attacker, and denies a clear chance. But the attacker gets up, the referee plays advantage, and the ball ends up in the goal. Under the current logic, if the goal is scored from that advantage, the offender is not cautioned or sent off for DOGSO. The goal itself is the punishment. This rule tells the referee, do not kill the attack just to punish the crime. Let the goal matter. Reward continuation. Do not turn a scored goal into paperwork. The law is not only cleaning up delays, it is deciding what the game values. Flow over delay. Goals over punishment. Accuracy over old chaos. Welfare over pure rhythm. And then there is the fifth case. Who is the tournament being shaped for? Some changes are clearly for the players. Hydration breaks, injury protocols, heat management. The welfare case is not imaginary. Some changes are for the referee. More tools, clearer sanctions. Less begging players to hurry up while pretending the clock is not being eaten alive. Some changes are for the viewer. The World Cup final now has a halftime show. Referee body camera trials have also moved toward an approved competition option. Not every match has a referee cam, but the direction is visible. Football is being made more packageable. The new rulebook says, enough, more football, less wasting time. That is the official story, and much of it is true. But the story underneath is sharper. Less wasting time means less protection for teams defending a lead. Mandatory breaks mean more tactical access for coaches. Expanded VAR means some old accidents at the margins no longer survive. None of this means the rules will decide every game. Players still decide games. A winger still has to beat his man. A keeper still has to save the shot. A center back still has to clear the corner that his own goalkeeper just donated by holding the ball too long. But rules tilt the room in which players make decisions. That is the point. The next time you watch a knockout match, watch the small things. The defender at the throw-in. The substitute sprinting to the touchline. The injured midfielder deciding whether treatment is worth a minute outside. The coach during the hydration break. The corner that pauses before it becomes a corner. The match may not announce the rule that changed it. It may just continue, slightly different. And that leaves the question with you. Which of these rules actually makes football better? The countdowns, the substitution clock, the 1-minute injury rule, the VAR safety net, the hydration breaks? And which one feels like it belongs less to the game and more to the people packaging the game? Put that line in the comments. I am curious where you draw it. And if you like football explained this way, not as a law book, not as a rant, but as the machinery underneath the match, subscribe. No pressure. 5, 4, 3.